Here in the Cardinals franchise, it's Season 2, and the postseason begins in just over 3 weeks. And we've got some work to do after the worst stretch of play we've seen all season. After looking like a potential number 1 or number 2 seed in the National League, everything has fallen apart in these last couple weeks. I've had some managerial and team management mistakes, and we've lost 6 critical games to the defending champions in Milwaukee, allowing them to springboard into first place with 24 days left in the season. They've been as hot as we've been cold, and now we've got to dig our way out of this mess and keep the Cubs from threatening our wild card chance. It would be a massive disappointment if by the end of the year, this series against Chicago means something. After losing 13 of our last 15 games, I'm looking at this next stretch to be our chance to get things back on track again. As we take on the Red Sox, who are 10 games under 500, then we go to Coors Field, where the Rockies are 62 and 78. I want to see us win 4 out of these 6 games. But before we start going through some action today, I think we need to look at a couple roster moves. It does not appear that Tekoah Roby and Tink Hence are ready to elevate this team and become big league mainstays. Now, I mismanaged Tink Hence in his debut and had him play his first game on partial energy, and that was a mess. He had some solid starts afterwards, but it was a bad way to get his career underway. And now we've seen bad games against the Brewers. Christian Yelich had his number. The K per 9 is dropping. His overall dropped 1. I just got to take the L on this move. And I think the same for Tekoah Roby. You know, these guys have had flashes, and I've enjoyed like the little bit I got to play with them, but I just don't think that it's worked out. And perhaps now it's time to go back to the rotation the way it was and hope that Michaelis and Gibson now have been reset in a way. If we check out the FIP, one of the popular advanced pitching metrics out there, Tink Hence and Tekoah Roby rank among our worst on the team, and I just think that it's time to say this was not the right move for this season. We've already used the option on Tink Hence, so we can send him down to AAA, no issue. For Roby, I'd have to burn up his first option here, which I could leave him as a bullpen arm just to not use that first option. But we will welcome back Kyle Gibson, as he did do a really good job at AAA, as did Miles Michaelis. I wouldn't mind having the extra reliever for now, so I think Roby is just going to get shifted into that role, and maybe he doesn't get a whole lot more playing time this season. And I got some feedback a couple episodes ago as to how to get my player lock deal back to the way I liked it in the A's franchise, where if my player got taken out, I could still continue the game, and oftentimes I like doing that for a hybrid experience. So I think this is the setting that needed to be adjusted. We had skip to next appearance, and if that's on and the guy's taken out of the game, then your next appearance ain't going to be in that game. So we'll do show sim screen. And I really enjoyed doing player lock through the last episode because it let us experience kind of the flow of those games, play some of them, and get through a lot of a critical stretch of the season. And given now today, it's all about, can we fix this? Can we turn it around? I want to do more player lock. And here we got my birthday right here. We got to win at least this game. And I want to play this one with Lars Nootbaar, who's been one of the most valuable players on the team this season. He's competing for a batting title. He leads the team in home runs, has a .586 slugging. Last year was the stats I wanted him to eventually get to and be that kind of player. He's taken it a step even further this season. Excited to see how much of an impact he has in this franchise. 6.5 WAR is no joke. And it perfectly matches his $6.5 million per year contract. So here we go. The goal was 4-2 over these 2 series. Try to put those Milwaukee games behind us, accept the fact the defending champs have our number. And as I put it in that last video, we have to outplay them without playing them, because we simply can't beat those guys. Sonny Gray trying to get things back on track, and it's flied to Nootbaar as he gloves the first out of the ball game. We got the Nootbaar chance, and here is your MVP candidate, honestly. 6.5 WAR in September is an MVP candidate. The playoff predictions are down below, and we're projected right now to finish a couple games behind the Brewers and be that top wild card team at 91 wins. Which, if you looked at that at the beginning of the year, we'd think of that as a success, but the route getting there now late in the season doesn't feel very promising. These are the Cardinals City Connect uniforms, by the way. First time using them. Wow, that could have been 1-0 Cards. I like how the game automatically puts the throwbacks into rotation for you and the CPU. Grounded on to short, and a bobble. Nootbaar beats it out. They rule that an error. And then one of our other most valuable players is Jordan Walker. I do think there's a chance next year we use him as the DH. As Walker whiffs, it's strike 3. I don't know. I like the idea of playing him defensively and growing him as a more well-rounded player. But when you watch him miss plays, like we did sometimes in last episode, it's well, maybe I'd like to see what a better defensive first baseman could do there, and he could DH. I don't know yet how that's going to go. We got a 2-0 game. I hope it still gives me the updates in the top left. I think I'm losing those by doing the way I am here with the player lock settings. But 2-0 and 2 aboard. Nootbaar with a base hit into right field. They will send the runner, and he will not make it in time. I like the effort, but still 2-0 St. Louis. We've had a shortage of good outings lately. Sonny Gray here with 2 aboard and a base hit from Masataka Yoshida. Nootbaar will fire home, and that is a run for Boston. Wanted to see if we could take a run from them after they took an RBI away from Nootbaar, but not the case. 2-1, and that's the way it stays. Arenado, he's got a home run. It's just so much has gone wrong in these streaks. So when you lose 13 of 15, it can't just be one area. The decisions on Henson Roby didn't work out. I did mismanage it, but the pitching as a whole has not been right. And then the offense, of course, has cooled down from some players. Nootbaar drives one. High and hard to right. That is gone. It's number 29. And this here so far is the exact game we needed, leaving that Milwaukee series and trying to put it behind us. The fireworks are still going off innings later. What do you think that fireworks budget is here? That's ridiculous. Imagine 3 innings straight. That's our home field advantage. We do it different here. Oh, I beg to differ. Thank you, Sonny Gray, for the birthday gift here. And the Cardinals do get back in the win column with a strong showing against the Red Sox in Game 1. Sonny Gray gets his 15th win of the season, and that's one of our first real shutdown pitching performances in a while. 4-for-4 night for Nolan Arenado as well. That is big. So I wanted to go 4-2. That is a perfect start. Let's go down the batting order a little bit. We focused a lot on the star performers, and let's go to Tommy Edman at short. I've been really impressed this year with Tommy Edman, moving to shortstop and even improving his offense showing his value as a player. But what I think has happened is he probably played himself like out of my budget going into the offseason. I don't know that he's going to be coming back. He's set to be a free agent and looking at least 10 to 12 million per year. I could see a team out there wanting to sign him to a larger deal. And I might even move him to shortstop before the offseason and have him be listed there, which I wonder if that would improve his market, as shortstop's one of those premium defensive spots and he's got value. But he's done so well for us. He's filled in this role, and now I'm not sure we can keep him around. If he had been a little bit worse, might have been easier. Double play. Offensively, he's been better this year, and after kind of a rough start, he put together some really strong months and was part of why we were so hot in that middle portion of the year. But overall, I'd say his offense as a whole has been pretty average. I mean, 250 batting average and about 15 home runs. Edman crushes one to dead center field. It's got carry. It is just within reach. Tommy ain't got power like that, but almost. Ooh, a grand slam from Rafael Devers. We've ran into 3 grand slams now in the past few weeks. And now it's a 4-3 game. Corbin Burns trying to get it back under control. Tommy Edman gathers. Picked up at first by Walker. Good job. One of my strategies recently with picking teams has been finding those, bad swing on my part, that maybe aren't in a mega rebuild immediately, but could be entering one. That's how I got to the Saints, how I got to the Raiders, and now the Cardinals. There's a back-to-back homers for Walker and Contreras. Cardinals in front. It seems to me, though, that while I was thinking this would become more of a full-on tear-down rebuild, like the team is just not that bad. To the gap in left center and down! Tommy's got 2, eyeing third base as he tacks on our 8th run on the triple. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot more tearing down if we end up with a solid, we're going to have a good season regardless here and likely be a playoff team. But I'm not sure that we're going to have like that 69 game win season where we're like, all right, let's get rid of everybody now. It's more so, can we just patch up the team and bring up a couple guys that make the difference and we're going to head home? Yeah, maybe we should have thought that one through. We jump ahead, 10-4 St. Louis. Jojo Romero is in the game, and that might do it. 6-4-3, and a win for the Cardinals, taking the first 2 from Boston. We gave up the grand slam, but those were the only runs Corbin Burns allowed. We dropped 10 on him. Great day for the offense. So far, so good here in this episode, as it was Jordan Walker's turn to go 4 for 4, getting Tanner Houck out early. These were our 2 best games in the last 2 weeks, essentially. Our first 10-run game since the 22nd of August, and the first time we held a team to only 1 run in 3 weeks. So now Miles Michaelis returns to the rotation. I'd love to know if his stamina is in a good spot. Got to make sure I'm paying attention to that, and he is good to go. We're switching this one up too. We're going with Dylan Carlson in the 9 spot, who has been one of the worst offensive performers this year, and he is a free agent at the end of the year. Just an unrestricted free agent as Rafaela splits the gap. It's really going to come down to what he's asking for. If it's $5 to $6 million, then perhaps Carlson's a player we end up moving off of, as we all know that his best skill is what he does defensively. And we go down 2-0 on a Casas home run. Shallow center and setting up for a tag. That's caught. Carlson's throw is there, and he got him. Man, Dylan Carlson with that defensive skill, though, that's going to be what's in the back of my head when it comes to re-signing him. Might not be an elite offensive guy, but you've got to have this kind of ability in the outfield. It saves so many runs. Not everybody has to crush it at the plate if they can make plays like that. He's been a part of us saving 2 runs already. Finally hitting here in the bottom of the 2nd inning with 2 aboard. Ooh, that wasn't bad. Here's Carlson's slash line this year. And he just ended up developing differently in my A's franchise compared to where he is here now, where he's really a platoon outfielder with excellent defense that hits lefties well. If we can keep him on the bench for that role, that's one thing. I just don't know about him being a full-time starter if the contract ends up being $5+ million. That's where I think it gets tricky. Couldn't cash in on the last chance. Let's see if he can with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Still a shutout for Brian Bayo, and it's lined. He did not catch that, but has the same effect as a line drive holding the runners. And we fail to add runs in the 4th. Bayo going deep into this one. He opens the 7th and misses at the letters to Carlson. Trying to spark a late inning rally. Pitch count closing in on 100. We have a 2-2 count. Carlson fights it off. 3-2. Donovan and his .315 average are on deck. And he got me with the change. 6th strikeout of the day. And then ends up striking out the side. And that is your final score. Cardinals drop the finale 2-0, but do take 2 of 3 from the Red Sox. Now I want to see us do the same to Colorado. Michaelis in his return to the rotation, 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks. That's about kind of the best I think we can reasonably expect at this stage. And then Gibson's return will be in Colorado. Great outing for Gibby. 7 innings, no runs allowed. Not easy to do in Colorado, but scoreless in the 8th. Let's join the action and try to squeak out a win. And Victor Scott is in this one. He's 1 for 3. Rockies wearing some uniforms that caught me off guard. Scott has 2 aboard, nobody down. Excellent chance to get a run. Takes outside. Scott looking for one of his first big moments of the series, and now 3-2. Gotta throw a strike or Nolan gets a chance. Got him! Big curveball. I did not think that'd be anywhere near as down as it was. Wow, that thing just dropped out nice. And Nolan Arenado comes to the plate. Back in Denver. Fastball in there. Didn't bite on the slider there. A great one from Criswell. And the curveball returns, this time in the zone. 2 strikeouts. And now Jordan Walker. Yeah, he's got a little more difficult curveball than some I've seen recently. Hoping the next time I see it, I'm ready. 2-1. Laying off, 3-1. And it is ball 4. And they are loaded suddenly for J.D. Davis. Bouncer and picked up by Criswell. Not a good pitch to swing at there, 1-0. Chris Swell gets out of the jam, and we will go bottom of the 8th. Finish playing the game. Andrew Kittredge will enter. Gibson did everything he could, but score us a run. Currently 2.5 back of Milwaukee. That is by him at 93. So not much changing here in the standings. Now less than 3 weeks to go in the season. Zach Bean hitting. One of the top prospects, and sends it past the former Rocky. It'll reach the wall as Bean picks up an extra base hit. Brenton Doyle will run for him, and here is Sean Bouchard. Doyle's got wheels. I don't know if they'd be willing to steal third here, but I'd think about it if I was in 5th place. Got him reaching with that one. Kittredge, 11 pitches into the outing. And the 1-2 again is in there for strike 3. And Jones drills one. Merrifield Manning center. No, he couldn't make the catch. Off the glove of Merrifield. And the Rockies take a 1-0 lead. Oh, wow. It's a big outfield in Coors. The ball flies. You got to have range if you're going to play in the outfield. And the 37-year-old Whit Merrifield, he had enough time to get there, but it deflects off his glove. Wow. Just a desperate reach, and he almost had it. That's a chance for Donovan, and he gloves it, so we go into the 9th, needing one. Justin Lawrence on the close for Colorado. 41 saves this year, 8 blown. Looking for number 9. I can't believe that. He's top 3. The Rockies must win all their games close. Tommy down, 2 strikes now. Oh, the slurve. I knew it was coming, but not a good first try at making something happen. Loperfito's in this game. We have emptied the bench. I mean, you got to eventually. But can someone come through late? That's in on the hands. The sinker now, and 0-2 on Joey. Herrera's on deck. Like, we have used the entire bench in this game. He saws them off. 2 gone. We're going to pinch hit Nolan Gorman here. I need someone that can make something happen in one big swing. Justin Lawrence, 1 out away. Strike 1. Off the end of the bat there. That was a decent pitch to do something with. Filthy slurve that time. And got him. Not a great offensive showing, and the 1 run is all they needed today. Rockies take the opener. So, 2 wins and 2 losses to start the day. We do win the second game against the Rockies, 9-4, making up for the lack of offense the previous game. Loperfito gets the start and has a 3-hit night. I'll do one more player lock today, and we're going to have Nolan here in Colorado. He does have a couple more years on his deal with us, and given I don't really think that we're entering that full rebuild mode, now I wonder if he's just going to play out that contract, because we have a team that you want to be able to maximize. And we don't have another third baseman that can take over, so we'd be right back into free agency trying to fill that need. Or hoping Elvis Martinez is ready, not knowing if he actually is. Contreras, it's a 3-run homer in the first. It's an excellent start. Arenado has seen some regression this year. His offensive production has been solid, but definitely done better by many on this team. But he's regressed with his contact and power. I don't know if it'll actually show in-game the direction everything's going, but the hitting ratings are mostly affected. But there's still that 94 durability, 97 fielding. You know you're getting some high-level defense from him, whether he makes anything happen offensively or not. I was already kind of let down by what teams are willing to offer for him when I explored it earlier. So if his value is even lower, then this might just be a situation where he plays it out at third base and we try to have a replacement ready in a couple years. 3-0 St. Louis. We're bottom 3 with Sonny Gray. Ezekiel Tovar lifts one, and we get a great front seat view of Tommy Edman making the catch. Thought I almost caught up to that one, but still a little late. And he swings through a high fastball, and Lambert gets him. The score holds as we move ahead into the 6th inning. A chance to make it 4-0. Luis Frias is on the mound. And a couple way out of the zone, so a 2-0 count. I'm thinking power swing on this 2-0. Or no swing, 3-0. Green light, though. As long as it's not lower third. And it was lower third. Out there! Double play. Three more added in the 7th inning. Great, I get more chances to face Criswell on that. Well, not the curveball that time. He's got a decent slider, too. Almost connected on that one. 3-2 count. And a bouncer to third base. And Arenado still hitless in this game. But our second time today getting a great outing from Sonny Gray, who looks prepared to go the distance. And this looks to be another big win for our Cardinals. There we go. I said I wanted to see us go 4-2, win these next 2 series, and get things back on track. That's exactly what's happened here. So what does that mean for us now in the NL Central? As we move past our off day on the 11th, we are 1 game behind the Brewers. We play better. They don't stay nearly as hot as they were. Hard to win 90% of your games for very long. They're playing Detroit next, and they're 21 games under 500. Pittsburgh is at 500, and they get Chicago. They don't have a tough schedule the rest of the way. Ours is a little bit tougher because we have the Cubs, Phillies, and the Diamondbacks, who are all above 500. So let's sim this first one against the Diamondbacks. They take it 5-7. In the second game, a 5-2 St. Louis lead late, and the Diamondbacks come from behind to take that one. 3 given up in the 8th inning. Looks like Tekoa Roby. Okay. Everything involving he and Tink Hence that I've tried this year has backfired. I still don't think it makes sense to just burn an option right here. It really doesn't matter. I just, have him in a role where he's already not going to play a lot in that second setup. But unfortunately, he goes in and the worst thing happens. The next day, Kyle Gibson back for more shutout innings. A 3-2 Cardinals win to at least avoid the sweep. Gibson now has come back to give us 14 innings, basically, of 2-run ball. Then we got the LA Angels, and thankfully a lot of these games left are at home. 3-1 win in Game 1, with Steven Matz going 6 1/3, and Roby giving up another run. I don't know, is the second setup no longer the place where you, hide the guy you don't want to play? Because if so, I'll put him in the 4th middle relief then. Sonny Gray, he has been unbelievable today. Man, I got to look at the last 3 combined games of his. That's 8 1/3 shutout. Previous game was 8 shutout. And the game before that was 7 with 1 run allowed. That's 25 innings of 1-run ball over his last 3 starts. Going for the sweep against the Angels, 10-1, making it easy. Brendan Donovan and Walker each go yard. 8 innings for Corbin Burns. That's a lot of great pitching here to start this week. But now we take on the Phillies. Tougher opponent. Could be a playoff team at 83 and 69. I think it's about time for us to do a full game again. Especially with the standings now perfectly tied with us and Milwaukee. We're giving Nolan Gorman the off day against a lefty, and also having Victor Scott in the lineup, as he's actually hit lefties great this year, and we can have Brendan Donovan DH for a day. I'm not sure if DHing helps a guy gain back some stamina the same way an off day would, but that's kind of the theory behind that move. He'll play in left field. And here we got Miles Michaelis on the mound. 24th start of the year. ERA and WHIP have been in a pretty good spot most of the season. The FIP has not, probably because his strikeout rate is so low. That formula is not going to like a guy who doesn't strike guys out much at all. So let's get today's full game underway. Trey Turner and the Phillies have come to town. Over the top, it's 0-2. And it's tapped. Quick play. Contreras gets Trey Turner. Softly fly towards Scott in left. 2 gone. And Alec Bohm swinging a hot bat with an 11-game hit streak entering. And Michaelis having trouble getting that first strike. Now we're in there with the sinker. And lose the battle on 5 pitches. Extended, and here is Kyle Schwarber. Not sure where Bryce Harper is. Hammered to center, sending Carlson back, and he has room. Ranger Suarez. The great lefty takes the mound. Only a 15% strikeout rate. But he's been really tough this year, and here is Donovan. Now a .326 average, a real shot at the batting title this season. Phillies are first in the NL East, so 2 teams here trying to win their divisions. Great fastball. And a 3-2 count. Showing off his fastball primarily here in the first at-bat. And got the edge, strike 3. Now Jordan Walker working a 3-2 count. We've seen a lot of pitches already. Already 10 in this at-bat with Walker. Number 17 is off the plate, and we have our first base runner. There goes Walker as Contreras nails the screen. And now taps one to short. Nice flip. Double play. Suarez puts up the 0. Walker! Wow, what a diving catch. Taking away a potential hit from Edmundo Sosa. Mike Yastrzemski. Now that's a random one. Michaelis drops in the curve. Jordan Walker makes the routine play too. Suarez is pretty tough. I struggle a lot with guys that can change speeds really drastically. With Suarez, what's been so tough is just the location of everything. Fastball's actually been tough to square up, even though it's more in the low to mid 90s. Down the line, and that's fair for Arenado. It's a fancy single. And Newt Barr, the fans love him. He's hitting .322. I love the MVP chants, man. This game has some awesome touches. Driven high to center field and not hit well enough. How about Whit Merrifield trying to help us out here late? Suarez, 1-2. Got the breaking ball. Merrifield can't square it up. We're a half game back of Milwaukee, so they must have won today. Beautiful curve from Ranger Suarez. Padres are behind us in the wild card standings. Cubs also in good shape. And another grounder ends the inning. Oh, waving wildly is Real Muto, and he nearly beats out the throw. First strikeout for Michaelis. Let's check that one out again. He had the slider get the job done there. It was way outside. Started with the curveball and then slider a mile out afterwards. Very strong first trip through this Phillies order. And Turner pops it up for Jordan Walker. And that's 3 straight zeros. Victor Scott. Only hitting .154 at the majors in this stint. My feeling is next year he gets a chance to open on the major league roster again and then show how far he's come since season 1. This year he got a lot of development against lefties down at AAA, making him a little bit more of a complete player. You don't have to platoon. But still got to see things click at the majors. 3-2. That's a walk. And now his great speed's aboard. That's the thing, too, to consider. With Carlson, you have the guy who's had 6 years to figure it out, who is really a platoon hitter with great defense. Scott is a higher upside defender. He has much better speed. And he's younger, obviously, so he has a chance to surpass what Carlson's become. But do you want the logjam of having Carlson and Scott potentially on the same bench? Scott's got blazing speed. There he goes. Lifted, and we got a return. Out number 2. Getting an extra bit of lead there is Scott. He takes off and easily swipes second. First stolen base of the season for Victor Scott. 1-1. Scott running again. Safe at third. And now Walker has a chance. Not that he didn't with him at second. And the curveball again. Strike 3 with Scott left at third. I really want to see it work out with Victor Scott now. Just how easily he can steal a base when he's on. And it's not that he has like a bad offensive skill set. He's probably never going to have much power. But hopefully he can be a guy that even if he just hits like 230 or 240, I think that if he can draw a few walks and steal bases, then he's going to make up that offensive value there. Center field on a line. Carlson. No. Victor Scott makes that play 100%. This is how it happens, guys. One game, and now I'm going to be constantly thinking about the success story we could develop with Victor Scott. Beautiful slider. And he struck him out on a miss. Poked to Newt Barr, and we're still scoreless. Not a bad swing on the fastball. I thought that might ring him up right there. I don't know. Suarez sequences, and I just like his game. I respect it. Down the line and foul. 60th pitch of the day, and a grounder that won't find its way through. Turner makes the play. Oh, wow. Hurston Waldrop is getting starts for the Braves down below. I love seeing prospects taking over spots as we get further into the franchise. Getting those prospect updates down below as well, especially late in the season. Suarez gets Arenado. Well, the 5th inning always seems to be the toughest one, so I'm predicting somebody is scoring in this inning. Still just one hit for either side. And Nootbaar is going to be sent back a handful of steps to make the catch. And now Yastrzemski comes up with one of the best hit balls of the day, and it's a 5th inning single. Good slider from Michaelis. He's just had command of basically everything. In the air for Carlson, doesn't have to travel far. And that's put away. Consistently getting strike one. Getting guys to expand their zone a little bit. But we got to get some offense here. And hopefully we can do it in the home half. High curveball, and Merrifield is unable to do much with it. Tommy Edman, one hopper to third. Alec Bohm across. Now Dylan Carlson hitting. It's a 3-1 count, and he draws a 2-out walk. So we get Victor Scott a chance again. I want to see that newly upgraded contact against lefties at work. That bounces away with no advance. And fouled, a good sinker that time. Out of gas. I mean, he's looking to finish up maybe his last inning here. That's in. 3-2 with Carlson able to leave early. Victor Scott draws both 4. We got 2 on, and that's going to do it for Suarez. That's one of the stronger 4 2/3 outings I'd say I've seen in a while. But now into this Phillies bullpen. First up is Mick Abel. And here's your Cardinal batting champ, Brendan Donovan. 2 on, 2 gone. Donovan tries to turn on the first one. Donovan high into the gap in right center. Hangs up and is caught. Still scoreless. We're going to try to see Michaelis go 6. I don't like his pitch count much above about 80 anymore. And that's wide to third. So we're back where it all started with the same 5-man rotation we had on opening day. That's down the line, probably a double. Nootbaar is going to have to fire this one quick. And despite a great toss, Trey Turner's in safe. We do have action in the bullpen. But if he's still hitting the edges like this, I'm going to trust him to give us one more inning. Count is even on Rojas. What's our out pitch here? Slider is off of him. It caroms to Edman. First and third, nobody out. That was hit pretty hard. We got Schwarber coming up. Bohm hits righties and lefties well. I think we're going to call it there. Usually when a guy gets hit that hard, I'm not talking about the ball hitting him, but just the exit velocity here in the 6th inning. You know, I'm just going to bring in the fresh arm then. Here's Kittredge. A lot of speed on the base paths, too. And it's hammered to left center. Carlson on the move. No shot. 1 run scores. And here comes the second. Safe head first. 2-0 Phillies. Both those will be charged to Miles Michaelis. But Andrew Kittredge gives up the biggest hit of the day. And Schwarber makes it 4 straight to reach. And it could be 2 or 3 extra base hits, but he has no speed. The Phillies are able to finally get some offense going. They get the first 3 runs of the game. We'll see if we can wake up alongside them, as we only have 1 hit and a few walks. Jordan Walker, backhanded by Turner, out number 1. Arenado falling behind. That was a tad late. I've been in front of a lot of the breaking stuff today. And another one hit right at somebody. We don't wake up in the 6th. Ryan Fernandez has kind of taken a step back this year. I've changed up his role a couple times to get him less innings. But he has developed well. I mean, he started as like a 55 in year 1 and is now a 65. Very solid reliever with a chance to still take his game forward. Our lefties have been much better than the righties this season. I'm hoping that we can shore that up for next year. Kittredge has been our best righty out of the pen, and I'm not sure between he and Helsley that there's anyone else who's been as effective. Man, not even close on the cutter. I remember having outings with him back in year 1 and just feeling like he plays so much better than his ratings. He got hot, stayed hot for a while. Not sure it's felt the same quite this year as he misses down the middle. Still, though, gets Real Muto, and there will be an advance on the base paths. Wow, really? Popped up. Holding the runner, Arenado waiting for the fall. A little high. Falling behind Turner. Not close. And a walk for Fernandez. Yeah, I think that's about it for him. 10 balls to 8 strikes. Get the next guy in there. It's Zach Thompson. His 41st appearance. He's been really good. Very reliable this season. I've moved him into that long relief role, trying to get his innings up. Johan Rojas with a chance to add on to a Philly lead. We lose this game, we go back to a full game back of the Brewers. In the air, Carlson is over, makes the catch. Can Lars wake this offense up? Mick Abel in for another inning. He hasn't had to throw too many pitches. We've been in front of basically everything today. Anything not a fastball, I've been too early on. Hammered down the line. It is foul. And then put in play. It's not sneaking out of the infield. So many ground outs today. Slow changeup coming in there. Man, tough one-hit night here for the Cardinals so far. Under it is Merrifield, and that's not the contact we're looking for. Good pitch to Schwarber to get ahead in the count. And this is going to force Scott to show off his speed. Oh, almost turned fair there at the end. Castellanos, 1-2. Got him! Thompson with a perfect eighth. Jose Alvarado. Wow, he's been shut down. Not looking good for us to get a run tonight or even a second hit. Dylan Carlson. That is foul. Way behind that one. That was filthy. Up the middle, skipping off the mound, and the play made. And we've talked a lot about Victor Scott today. Can he somehow get aboard and give us a chance? His cutter is pretty nasty, man. Wow. Left center field. It is up in the air, too long. Our only hit came back in the second on a Nolan Arenado single. We've drawn a few walks, though, and we may have to do that here. Lefty against Alvarado. We'll give him that one. Brings the count back to full. And he walks him. So there's a base runner. And there is a heavy hitter in Jordan Walker. Walker fouls and falls behind. Filthy cutter, inning over. Jojo Romero's been one of our top relievers as well. And he'll get the ninth inning as we still trail 3-0. Softly to Arenado. One down. Arenado takes care of out number 2. But isn't having such an easy time against Real Muto. But with 2 down, pitching away from him, around him, is probably a good move. But he has been willing to chase today, just not in this at-bat, apparently. The 9-hitter, Rodolfo Castro, to the plate. Down 0-2. He goes down 1-2. And that's strike 3. It's just been one inning that got away from us. They had a couple extra base hits, 4 straight reach. And we have not done anything similar. Matt Strom, 36 of 43 saving games this year. We need a trio. 3, 4, 5 hitters up for the Cards. Foul off. That is down, and a 3-2 count. Probably looking to pinch run if Contreras were to reach. And he does reach. That lower edge has not been called much today at all. We need more than 1 run. I'm not going to steal with Pache, but I just feel having a little more speed out there. Less chance of getting it out on the base paths, I guess. And a couple missing to Nolan now, so a slow start for Strom. Wow, that was the 2-0 pitch you hope to see. Arenado just sends it back. That's inside. Things getting a little interesting here. Really good changeup, though, to follow things up with. That's a prime double play ball right there. And the 3-2 to Nolan. Base hit center field. He's got both of them tonight. And it brings the tying run to the plate. Where are those MVP chants? Crowd's a little quieter right now, and that's lifted. Well hit to right. And it's a deep out. Going to advance on it. Whit Merrifield. 0 for 3. Takes inside. And he lifts it deep down the line. And it is caught. We will score our first run, finally, in the 9th inning. So now Tommy Edman tries to extend the game. High fastball's been pretty tough today. I feel they consistently have worked the bottom edge, so when they throw upstairs, I have not been able to catch up to it. Tommy Edman into center. That's the kind of night it's been. Phillies win 3-1. We fall a full game back to the Milwaukee Brewers and just can't run into enough offense in this game. Had some chances, but no extra base hits, and obviously only 2 hits in the entire game. Can't go far with that. That leaves us with 9 games to go in the season, and still anything's possible with us and the Brewers in this division. Cubs do seem out of it. They're almost eliminated in the division, but are holding on to that 3rd wild card spot. Overall, though, I'd say today was definitely a success. We gained a couple games of ground. We have ourselves within 1 game of first place. So next episode, we'll see if we end up finishing everything out. If it happens in a more convincing fashion for us or the Brewers, we could wrap things up. But if the final game of the season really matters, then that might get its own video. We'll just have to see how it unfolds. But here are the team rankings now, with our offense definitely falling a little bit. We have the 4th highest scoring offense now, still very good, but we have had less production. And then the team ERA had fallen recently from 5th to 10th. We're back into 7th. I think Sonny Gray's amazing episode is a key reason why. And thankfully, in our 9 remaining games, he should pitch twice and Corbin Burns should pitch twice. So we'll see where things go from here. We're 88-65. What did you think of today's episode, everybody? Do you feel good about our chances to go and win the division this year? We got a few guys within reach of 30 home runs, but Nootbaar seems to be the only guy likely to hit. A couple guys who could have 100 RBIs is a cool milestone. Nootbaar 976 OPS. Those numbers to me are just incredible. Before this year, no one thought Nootbaar was a 7-WAR player, Donovan a 6.5. I think you could have talked yourself into Contreras and Walker doing this, but for them to do it, at the same time, Donovan and Nootbaar just completely shatter all expectations. That's the only way we could get into this situation, is a bunch of overachieving. And the 2 top of the rotation guys had to be studs, and they absolutely have. Thank you all for watching today's video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and more Cardinals franchise coming soon here in Season 2. Take care, and I'll see you next time, everybody.